Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. We have a great podcast today. I did take a lot of the stuff that was not interesting out, though it is a very interesting podcast. If you do want to check out the full version, I will link it down below for you. But we are checking out today Nick Viall, who had a special guest of Mr. Howie Mandel and Jackelyn Shultz. Now, this is after Howie and Jackelyn did the Scandoval interview, and he gets into a lot of detail about what he did not do, what he was told he wouldn't do to Tom, and why the interview went the way it went, which is very interesting. Because, as you know, and I know, and if you don't know, Jackelyn Shultz claimed from the beginning of the Howie Mandel, Tom Sandoval whole podcast that she was a Bravo fan, that she's watched every episode of Vanderpump Rules and then some. So us Vanderpump fans and Bravo fans are looking at her like, why aren't you questioning him? Why aren't you interrogating him? Why aren't you asking the hard questions that we all want to ask? Well, we find out why. It's a very, very good podcast. So let's get into this, guys.
I went to Stagecoach this weekend.
Yeah.
For the first time.
And?
Do you like country music?
I do now.
Who did you like?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Who you like?
Well, who I saw. I went in like I didn't really know.
Did you see Bryan Adams?
No. I do. Bryan Adams, like
he was there, yeah, the old timey. And did you see Melissa Etheridge?
I did not.
Did you see Kane Brown? Did you?
Yeah, that was really good.
Did you see so while you're trying to figure out, did you see Chris Stapleton?
I did.
Okay. Why do I know more of what you saw?
Why is Howie like running you
know
through
why?
the roster?
Because I do my homework. That's the one thing people know about me.
There you go.
I don't know why I know the Stagecoach lineup.
If you're not into country, how did you go?
He's got a fiance that's into it.
Oh, Howie. Really
let's
nailing
wait for the
things
show.
today.
Yeah, I do my homework. Always. I always know exactly what I'm talking about before. You should be. Before I talk to somebody, I really...
You do your homework.
Always.
You're very prepped.
Always.
Yeah, very important stuff.
You want to be prepped. You want to know what it's all about. You want to know... Go ahead.
Howie, Jackelyn.
Nick.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
How is your heart, Howie?
I'm a little...
Prepared?
Apparently, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for anything. I wasn't prepared for the backlash. I wasn't prepared for the info. I wasn't prepared, which is my the way I operate. So I'm very prepared for this interview.
Do we want to start with Tom, or do we want to? Just
I don't know. How do you want to? Do you want to like? Do you want it's your audience.
What did you do this weekend? Let's start with that.
Prepared for this interview.
I did. I honestly did.
Did you
I'm
really?
Very excited. I want to say I just really appreciate you coming here, because your team tried to get us to go to your studio.
Yeah. I don't really travel.
No, I understand. And I just want to say thank you, but it was like a whole thing over here.
What?
But she's the one. It's her. Thank her.
Well, thank you for having us come here.
I'll go anywhere that you want us to go.
No, but you brought me.
I did.
Well,
yeah.
Let's bring your dad to work.
First, your wonderful team. They have your back. They emailed us and they were like, Howie would love you to come to his studio, and we have a whole setup. But it was like a whole process. Like and by process I mean like we were like, do we go? We had a whole we had team meetings about it, Howie. We were like, do we push back? We were like, no, like
you did.
We did.
You did.
We weren't sure. I was a little intimidated to do we say
where you started this show.
Yeah.
I'm in your old offices, right?
This is our new place.
No, I know, but
you would be going back to where your old place was.
The middle ground.
The middle.
Yeah.
It was the middle.
Yeah.
It was the second place.
The second
I didn't
iteration.
Know that.
Yeah.
I should have done my homework.
It's okay.
I don't do enough research.
Howie, it's okay.
Now
But anyways, I thank you
Nick Viall
because
fans are going to get on me and go, before you show up, why don't you learn something about him?
You knew a lot about Nick.
I do know a lot about Nick.
Yeah.
We worked in the same office in the middle ground.
Colleagues.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, I appreciate it. We
will.
had a bunch of team meetings being like, so we just say no? Will he still come? And you came. So we thank you.
You're welcome.
This side of Mulholland, they'll stay on.
Okay. I was at Stagecoach all weekend. I had a great time. And I just thought about our potential conversation and the whole time. So I was really excited to talk with you about all things, whatever.
You're listening to country music, thinking about our conversation?
I'm in my head constantly, Howie, and I'm always working and I'm always thinking about upcoming stuff. I have a hard time getting out of my head. It's a struggle sometimes. You've been around for a long time. You've done so many amazing things. There must have been a time in your career when you were just like, holy shit, like I actually did this,
Oh yeah. When Tom Sandoval came to my studio.
That was your big highlight?
Well, you don't know what it's like. I mean, I had no idea that he didn't talk to anybody, and he chose me.
I was very, when I found out, I was very, first of all, bravo, you got the interview. And we like to think of ourselves as a destination for reality TV people who have a story to tell.
Right.
And you got the interview, and props to you. And honestly, I don't think people gave you enough credit.
Thank you.
I sincerely mean
I don't
that.
think I deserve any credit.
Well,
I don't think I deserve any negativity either.
It's not easy to get people who have a reason to be cagey and reluctant to share their story.
No, I made it easy.
You made it easy for him, and it was entertaining, and you made a comfortable environment for Tom to
Which
share
I promised him.
whatever he wanted to share.
That was the point.
Ultimately, that's what people wanted to hear.
No, apparently not. They wanted to hear me cross-examine.
No, they wanted to hear me grill him.
You know, the problem between me and my daughter here is my daughter is a huge Vanderpump Rule fan who watches and knows everything. So the tough thing was, and I said to her, and we had this discussion, I go, you can't. If you hear something that you don't agree with, you can't challenge. There are no challenges on this particular moment. We're not challenging. That's not what this is about.
Did you promise Tom that?
Yeah, I promised. I didn't talk to Tom directly, but you know, as people found out, the one of the people that works for me is married to his the road manager and drummer. Yeah, road manager and drummer. So that was
part of the. He's one of the Tom Sandoval and the
most extras.
One of the extras.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I've never seen the band. I've never seen the show.
Okay, so he is part of the arrangement to come on. There was no second guessing any of Tom's answers.
I'm not going to put him in an uncomfortable position. I said, I will. You promise. Come on, you want to speak. You want to talk. Come on and talk.
Howie did really make it easy for Tom to tell his side of what happened. I was shocked, though, to hear that Howie made it comfortable for Tom in the sense that he told him that no one would challenge him on anything he had to say. For Tom, who in my opinion is a narcissist, that was a door opening for him. I get wanting to give someone a platform to tell their side of things, but even though Howie didn't know anything about the show or clearly anything about Tom, he knew the general information on the Scandoval and that it was being talked about everywhere. Howie has said it and will keep saying it. He just doesn't get why this story is so big. That's fine. But then why not challenge him on some things? Why not ask questions just knowing that he cheated on his partner? And as someone who doesn't believe in doing that, why not ask more questions? Howie even asked Jackelyn not to challenge him, and I don't know how she sat there and didn't break. Well, let's continue with this.
And my point is, and the reason I wanted to is because, and still don't understand, which is kind of a misinterpretation by the Bravo fans for me. What is it? What are they saying? That I condone this kind of behavior?
Yeah, that you were almost that when you said that you didn't think it was a big deal, they thought you meant that it wasn't a big deal that he cheated, rather than he doesn't think it's a big. He doesn't understand the hoopla around it. Why it's even getting to him who doesn't watch.
I don't watch the show, and when I watch CNN or I watch the anything, why is this cheating scandal making and breaking outside of?
It's literally being brought up at the White House Correspondence Diner.
Weekend.
Yeah.
That anyway. What?
Oh, she's a star, honey. She is presidential. And that's Madam President.
So that's and I'm the first lady.
But tonight, we are all unified under one thing, and that's scandal. Scandals have been devouring careers this year. The untouchable Tucker Carlson is out of a job. Yeah, okay. Some people celebrate it. But to Tucker's staff, I want you to know that I know what you're feeling. I work at The Daily Show, so I too have been blindsided by the sudden departure of the host of a fake news program. Tucker got caught up. Got caught up like that dude from Vanderpump Rules. Text message stuff. I don't know what Vanderpump Rules is about. I just watched it a couple times. My friends told me it's like BMF, but for white people. Or is that secession? No, secession is power for white people. No, Tucker Carlson is power for white people. No, that's white power. You know what? Never mind. Don't worry about that. No, don't worry about that. We got to get Tucker back on the air, Mr. President, because right now there's millions of Americans that don't even know why they hate you.
Okay, and you're saying, don't say that because the Bravo fans will get mad at you. You must be, then you don't think it's big enough to do that.
We have all kinds of fans mad at us, Howie. It's fine.
But I don't understand them being mad at me now, and I don't understand why it is as big as it is. Not because I condone, as a guy who's been married to her mother for 43 years, and I swear to you, I've never cheated, nor would I even consider it, nor do I think it's right. And again, to answer some of the negativity, do I think it's right of anybody who's in a committed relationship? You don't have to have a license and you don't have to be married. I think that you need to respect humanity and you need to respect anybody. And if you are not happy in your relationship, then you need to be real clear with that message and then do whatever you need to do. But that wasn't what that interview was about.
He's just getting his story. Now that Tom's gone and we no longer... What Jackelyn or Howie, how would you have challenged Tom given some of his answers that he gave in the interview? Was there anything he said to either of you that you would have maybe asked a follow-up question if that was something that was on the table?
I'll start and then she can answer. Can I start?
Go for it.
I wouldn't do anything differently. And the thing about it was he came and told me, this is what he told me, having not seen the show, that he has been really clear with her that he wanted to get out of the relationship, that he is suffering personal demons with his mental health, and that he has really tried, and in a moment of weakness, which is not an excuse, he slipped. And he says that that's not going on anymore.
But when he says he slipped, he's implying that like it was like a one-time thing.
No, he didn't imply that. That's how it began. He slipped. Gotcha. He said, I'm telling you what he told me. He said, and then I said, is this still going on? And he said, no. And that's what he told me. And I didn't question it. What is happening now in the comments is that people are saying, no, it is still going on. No, he wasn't clear. That's what commenters are saying, and she would know better. You know, he said that she asked to freeze her eggs and he was going to fertilize them. He said, what his answer to me, his story to me was, are you crazy? We're broken up. People who watch the show and know more than me are saying that right is not how it's playing out.
I mean, listen, yeah. Again, very entertained by the interview, but when listening to it, that part in particular, I think people had an issue with. And I was a bit bothered by Tom's answer in the sense of like, I've been cheated on and heartbroken, before. And then those moments of realizing a long-term relationship is coming to an end, or when you find out that your partner betrayed you, regardless of things were rocky for a period of time, or, you guys weren't connecting or living different lives, as Tom said. In that moment, for Tom to point out Ariana's, as Tom said, crazy reactions. I mean, when you find out shit like that, you tend to say out of pocket things. You might feel like you're losing your mind. You might say things like, I'm not going to let you break up with me. I mean, your world's coming down ahead of you. And
but do you think I should be judging that he's saying that? I didn't judge her either, Ariana. I didn't judge his descriptions of her reactions.
I mean, no, I didn't feel like you were judging or not judging her. I mean, I think a follow-up question would have been fair for clarity with Tom. What
would it be?
Are you I would have just said in that moment, like, do you empathize with why Ariana might have said those things? And
didn't he say, I love Ariana and I feel bad? He didn't say
what
that?
I got from that I wanted to say was in previous seasons, he had been saying that he wanted to consider kids. And she was the one that was saying, no, I don't want to have kids. And so finally, after therapy and working together, in my mind, he said that she was working on it, that she was a whole different Ariana. And she was finally saying that she wanted to freeze eggs and have kids. To me, that shows someone who's really fighting for the relationship, not someone who is crazy. He took her to therapy. And in her mind, I'm sure when you go to couples therapy, it's to mend a relationship.
Well, yeah, he kind of used couples therapy as a way to like trick her into breaking up.
But I didn't get that he said that she was crazy, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was that's the problem. Maybe you interpreted what he was saying differently, but I think he was putting a lot of the blame on her.
I think, and I've said this before when Howie had Tom on his podcast, that Tom used Ariana's emotions and her reaction to everything that was happening against her to make her seem like she was crazy. Anyone, and I don't care who you are, would have a reaction to that. All our reactions are different, but that is like getting stabbed in the heart, not once, but twice, by two people you truly loved and cared for. She, in my opinion, had every right to react the way that she did. And we all know, just from watching him, that Tom definitely did not help those kind of situations. And he definitely pushed some buttons. And I think he probably did that as well. I think Nick made a valid point with how Howie should have come back out with a follow-up to that, saying to Tom, well, why do you think she had these kind of reactions? Do you think everything that was being thrown at her might have played a big part in her reactions? Listen, I don't care, Howie. If Tom says that he loves her and that he felt bad for her, 'cause he should, and if he loved her, then he would never have done what he did. Even Jackelyn saw it in the perspective that we all kind of see it, which was that he was trying to make her look crazy, 'cause he was. Howie might not get that, but they are trying so hard to tell him to listen. This is what he was doing. Now, one more thing. I don't know why this whole egg getting fertilized thing comes up again, because the timeline from all of this, that when she went to go get her eggs fertilized, and they discussed last season, not this new season, but last season, we watched all of that happen. And then Andy even mentioned it in the reunion, if Tom had gone and, did what he had to do, and that he didn't, and he didn't think she was serious, and that, okay, she is, okay, let's go do this. And then we see the conversation happen again, where he goes and does what he has to do, then they're on the couch in this new season, and they talk about it. Tom's timeline does not add up, and it has never added up, and that is something that is affecting this conversation. Like, this really has nothing to do with even that. What do you guys think? Let me know below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. Am I wrong? Does this, not add up? Because I know the timeline is messed up. And by him saying, we were broken up. Are you crazy? I'm not going to fertilize your eggs. That conversation should have never happened, because the conversations previous had already happened. I don't know. Let me know below. Let's, though, continue with this.
See, I thought and this is just my interpretation, so get mad at me if I thought he was putting blame on what? He said that I thought he said that he cheated on her, that he was with Raquel or Rachel. What's her name?
It's
both. Depends on who you ask.
I think it's legally
Rachel.
But she goes by Raquel.
Raquel for Spice.
I don't understand that, but okay.
We could call you like Howie.
The names. What?
We could call you like Howie or something.
Okay, do that.
Yeah.
Howie.
It's Howard. Your legal name is Howard, but people call you Howie. Her legal name is Rachel, but people call her Raquel.
Or like Lala, her legal name is Lauren, but she goes by Lala on the show.
Do whatever you want.
Raquel.
Yeah.
Raquel, listen, as her best friend, probably has some answering to do. But the truth, I feel like he was just telling me how she was reacting to his depression and the fact that he's lost and he wants to move on and he's not happy in this relationship. That's how I took it. That may not be right.
Yeah.
But does that make sense for me as somebody who doesn't know the show and doesn't even know anybody's name?
Yes. No.
And my whole question and the reason for having him on, I knew it was big news. And as a podcaster, you want to have, that's why you have me on today.
Yes.
Is because you wanted, and my question was, I don't understand why this is big news. Having done a little bit of, everybody's talking about homework, Lala, who I'm now a new fan of, who's going to come into my studio and relight it because my lighting sucks, apparently. Anyway, and I find her funny and interesting. When I looked up to find out who she was, and I didn't even know her name is Lauren, but from what I understand is she got pregnant and had a baby, and the father of that baby cheated while she was pregnant. How come that's not on CNN versus these two people who don't have children? No,
deal.
No, I'm telling you as somebody on the outside, it doesn't compare.
Didn't reach you.
No, I never heard of Lala till now, but I heard of Scandoval till now. I'm telling you as an old guy who is not up on whatever is happening in the reality TV world, and that was what was amazing to me. My daughter knows about it, and I said she was excited, nervous, and wanted to grill him when he came on.
I had 2 pages of I stayed up. It was a last-minute interview. We were already going to have an interview coming out that week, Nick Cannon. And last minute, they said, do you want Sandoval? And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. He hasn't done anything. I'm sure everyone wants him. I've seen everyone else on. That would be amazing. I stayed up all night and wrote pages of questions.
And I made her take her hoodie off before the show. What hoodie were you wearing?
Send it to Daryl.
Yeah.
Send it to Daryl? Never in my life have I received a personal email with legal documents.
And this is how we know Jackelyn is a VPR fan. She was wearing the Send It to Daryl hoodie. Oh my God. Now I would have loved to see how that would have all played out. I would also have loved to know what questions that she would have wanted to ask him. Like, she stayed up all night? Had 2 pages worth? Jackelyn, though you might never see this, but by chance you do, we all would love to just hear some of the questions you would have asked Tom Sandoval. Give it to us, girl.
Send it to Daryl.
I think it's a big deal just because, infidelity strikes such a nerve with people. And I think...
Yeah, but it's so prevalent. I'm not condoning it, and I'm not saying it's not a bad thing. Why did this infidelity, this one in particular, break the news cycle? And like you just said, even at the White House Correspondence Dinner, why this one when there are so many?
But I think it's because they're both on the show. Like with Lala and Randall wasn't a main cast member. It was like her +1, basically.
I think because, to answer your question, and this is just a guess, I just think it resonates with people. You have 2 known quantities on this show. And I think for the people who are watching, primarily women watching this show, I think Tom Sandoval kind of represents or reminds them of this kind of typical middle-aged fuckboy who... The way Tom answers questions, it's like the whole...
You're talking about Tom or me?
Tom Sandoval.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're not a middle-aged fuckboy.
Yeah.
No, that's why I just wanted to make clear.
Can we make that the title of the episode?
Middle-aged fuckboy.
Howie Mandel, the middle-aged fuckboy.
Maybe you were at one point, but I don't... You never gave me that energy.
I've
been married for 45 years, right?
I know, but just to be referred to as a middle-aged fuckboy, I
kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Kind of a thank you.
I mean, with this outfit, you could definitely...
What's wrong with my outfit? This is a fuckboy outfit?
A fuckboy might wear that, yeah.
Look at you, Dad.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It looks good.
Now I want to go home and burn it.
I mean, it was meant to be a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, I took it as a compliment.
Fuckboys are stylish,
I think people also relate to maybe having a best friend or girlfriend that backstabbed you. There's so many components in
there's
this story.
All these little
and
wrinkles
something else I
variables.
learned after, like it's not that makes it less of a big deal in my book. Now I'm going to get killed on this for it.
Dad, you got to stop.
But I'm just going to say, didn't they both get together from cheating?
They did. Listen, it's a
so
messy
group. Does that not make it less of an outrage for the world because these 2 cheaters got together and now there's cheating? Why is this big international news?
You're not wrong. In the grand scheme of things, you're absolutely right. Like
That's my question. I'm now going to get killed. Bravo hates me.
You have perspective, and for the people listening to
I'm
your
a
show
on Watch What Happens with Andy Cohen said I'm a jackhole.
Tonight's jackhole goes to the fact that Howie Mandel apparently didn't know what he was getting himself into with his interview of Tom Sandoval today, because it seems like maybe he didn't do his homework.
In that world,
I think that's positive.
They care so much about this stuff.
I just like to have a title, Jackhole. Like Rachel, I should be Jacole.
Jacole.
I'm Jacole.
Howie, the middle-aged Jacole.
Fuckboy.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, how bothered were you by the reaction on a personal level? Did it annoy you? Did it bother you?
It doesn't annoy me. It doesn't bother me. I'm confused and incredibly confused and amazed by this. I was confused and amazed by the whole Scandoval thing. I didn't realize that I thought I was going to learn something. I didn't want to do homework. That my homework was talking to him and letting him. I want to hear this story. I want to hear why it's so big.
If you didn't multiple times during the interview say how much you didn't know, no one would have known how much you didn't know.
But I want them to know that I don't know, so that if I'm asking a stupid question or if I'm not responding to something, it's because I don't know.
I was bothered as a Bravo.
She was kicking me.
No, I was bothered by the negative backlash as like a Bravo fanatic, because I think people looked to me by saying I was the one who said that I knew. I watched every single episode.
Howie kept calling you the expert.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they're like, come on, be our voice, say something.
But I'm her father and she listens to her father.
And so people were mad at me. I mean, I have DMs saying I'm trash. I shouldn't. I'm a horrible person. Like, I don't stand up for women. And
I'm learning things just from my own comments, from my comments. He just said he kissed her. That's the day her dog died.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know she had a dog.
Yeah.
Is that bad that I don't know she has a dog? Now
I don't think
Peter's
so.
going to hate me. Peter's going to hate me. How do you not know that she had a sick dog?
That was a
Fan is
storyline.
short for fanatic, Howie. So fan is short for fanatic.
No, I know. Thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, just that's how fans react. I don't know. But but so much of your interview or your reaction to the interview is this kind of, I don't understand why people are reacting this way. But they're just
the thing that did bother me.
The
thing that bothered me is not about any of that. The thing that bothered me is that they took away, whether they think I'm an idiot, I don't care. Whether they think that I don't know anything about the show, I don't care. What bothered me is that this narrative that I condone cheating, and that's not, I never said I condone cheating.
I'm with you. But it's just, unfortunately,
will you tell your mother that?
Did you have to go home and say, just so you know?
There's a lot of people that were asking, what would you say if it were your daughter?
Firstly, I do not condone the hate bashing that Jackelyn is getting in her DMs and people saying very cruel things to her. But listen, I get it. I'm one of those people asking, saying, hey, Jackelyn, why didn't you ask the hard questions? That is my opinion. And I pretty much keep it to my channel. I'm not reaching out to her and DMing her, wishing harm to her, or telling her how much I dislike her as a human and hope her world comes crumbling down, all because she didn't ask Tom Sandoval any hard questions. Like, come on, people. I get wanting to express your opinions too. There is nothing wrong there. It's just how you go about it. There is no need to DM her and say very insensitive, mean, harsh things to her. You could go on Twitter and at her and say, I don't understand why you didn't ask any hard questions. And who knows, maybe she would have responded back and better understood maybe what was happening. I think after hearing her talk about this here on the podcast, I have a better understanding. And now knowing what we know, there were things put in place that she couldn't challenge him and she couldn't ask the 2 pages of questions that she wanted to even know herself. It makes more sense now, though we all still wish she got to at least ask a couple. We understand now. I think conversation is always needed, and it's why I love hearing what you all have to say too. Now, I do want to know what Howie would say and do if this was his daughter. That was an Ariana situation. So let's find out.
In that situation.
Or if in that same
if you
situation.
were talking to, let's say, my husband who had done the same thing, would you have said the same things to him?
Oh, I would have hit him.
If I'm understanding Howie's point of view now, he would say I would hit him and I'd be mad. But if it reached CNN, he would be just as confused.
My question was not about the merits of their relationship. My question was not about the reasons for cheating. He admits, and we knew he cheated, and we knew that's why he was on the show, and we knew that he cheated with her best friend. I know all that going in. Why is this huge? I still don't understand why it's huge. I still don't understand why so many people who want to. I still don't even understand. Let's see if they who's calling me. It's my son. Okay. Let's see if he understands. Alex. Yep. I'm on the Nick Viall podcast right now, and they can with Jackie, and he's the producer of my podcast.
Amazing.
He is.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to explain to these people that I didn't. My whole point of view. Do you know what my point of view is?
Yes.
What is it?
You mean the way you went about that podcast was that you specifically didn't want to look into it so that you can see it from just an outside perspective, regardless of
because I didn't understand why it was. Go ahead.
Why it was on CNN and all these mainstream media things. It didn't seem like something that would be hitting mainstream if it's a cheating scandal from a reality show.
Hello, thank you, and thank you, and the underpants arrived. I know that's why you were calling. Thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Here.
I have him order my underpants from Amazon.
There you go. I think it's such a big deal because to your point, Howie, so many people do cheat. And I think so many people who have been cheated on feel like the people who cheated on them are not held accountable. And this is and so many of those people watch these shows and they're projecting and it's their way of trying to hold someone accountable for doing this type of behavior. And they feel like the way Tom talked about Ariana is the same way the people who cheat on them talked about them, where they say things like, I'm sorry, I fucked up.
But that's why they watch the show.
But there's always a but, like, well, we were disconnected. And they have this way of kind of indirectly blaming the person who's been victimized by their behavior. And they act like they're wrong, but it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Like Tom, the way he talked about the whole interview was like, hey, man, like, I fucked up, man. Like, what are you going to do, man? Like,
but I also understand there's nobody, I bet you in this room, I'm probably believe in the sanctity of a respectful relationship more than anybody in this room. And maybe in this moment you think you do.
Not necessarily. No.
But
you've been married for 40 years.
That's what I'm saying. I've proven it, and I'm proving it every day. And relationships go through highs and lows. So I am probably the most respectful person of a relationship in this room at this point. That being said, I'm also the most curious person as to why, and I understand that's why, listen, because something so outrageous is done is why the ratings went up. This is the kind of conflict that people watch these shows for. Okay. As much as they're angry at it, they love being angry. It's like the train wreck.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why you're not getting enough of credit for the interview that you conducted, because regardless of whether they're angry or not at you, and and honestly, sincerely sorry that you're dealing with those nasty messages. I always find it crazy that these people who are probably like worried about Ariana's mental health are the same people telling you should die in the DMs and things like that. It's, the internet bullying is wild, but yeah, like people often don't realize what they want as an entertainer. Like you entertain people. That was one of the most interesting podcasts I'd listened to in a long time.
Yeah, it's probably out of all my podcasts, it's probably the most viewed podcast on YouTube I've ever had.
Oh, without question.
Without question. And more than double anybody else. So, but it's also the most crazy hatred that has been targeted toward my daughter. And where I just said, hey, you did something silly, they're saying. Come and explain yourself and tell me why you think this is such big news. I don't think he answered that question, and he took the time to make his case. Whether you think his
case,
which
I was surprised. That is actually what shocked me. I had like 2 pages of questions because I assumed after being in the media for so long that he would come on and it would be an apology or very short answers to questions. And then within maybe 10 minutes of bantering back and forth, he was off. He was talking.
Oh, he wanted to talk.
Yeah, he wanted to talk and tell his side of the story. So we didn't even need to say anything and I think that the public then, if he just talks, they'll either decide whether he's digging himself into a hole or he's redeeming himself.
Yeah.
So it's up.
And I even said to him after, I said, listen, I'm not going to challenge you on anything. And to be honest with you, without knowing the other side or having any input, he came off like a guy who was really troubled and having a real hard time. And I condoned him for being open about even just his mental health issues. I'm not one who condones sharing somebody else's mental health issues because that's for them to be open about. But he said he's suffering with depression. He said he didn't know, what he was going to do with his life at this point, this middle-aged point that he's at. And I said, it is to seem that frail publicly is kind of brave. So I can, and then I also said at the end of it, if there's anything that you think you said that you want to have edited out, I'll do that.
Sure.
So what you saw was what he was happy with saying and what he presented. And I kind of respected that. Whether you know something else because you have a different, from my perspective, I respected what he said. I didn't know anything that any Bravo viewer or my daughter knows to challenge him on what could possibly be a lie or.
It's not even, I think he told his truth for sure. You
think he believed what he was saying?
Oh yeah. The only question I wish one of you would have asked was, why does he think he cheated?
He told you.
That whole interview was justifying why.
But I want to know why. No. I want to know why Tom Sandoval, in that moment of weakness, chose to do what he did rather than go to Ariana and not cheat.
Because he was saying, I'll answer that from what he said. Because I think he did answer that question. You're saying we should have asked that.
No, but that's not why he cheated. That's the cheating is the.
He said that he was not. He said that he is. This is what he said.
Sure.
And whether it's true or not, I don't know. And I haven't watched the show, so I don't know. He said that he's turning 40 years old. He's incredibly depressed. He has been trying to get out of this relationship from which she wouldn't release him.
That's not true.
Well, but I'm telling you what I heard. You know that's not true because of what you know.
Well, I'm not saying it's not true because short of him accusing Ariana of like entrapping him and imprisoning him, like she can't stop him from breaking up.
Well, I'm telling you from somebody who has not watched the show what I heard, and you can tell me if what I heard isn't true. He said he's 40 years old. His life is in a little bit of disarray. He's going through an incredible depression. He doesn't feel that he is appreciated in his relationship or even as a man. He said that he wasn't getting any sex and she was making it really hard for him. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said that no matter how hard he has tried to get out and end the relationship, she is not letting him out. In fact, he told me, whether this is true or not, he told me that she, even after he said it's not working and I want out, she said, let's freeze our eggs. And he said on my podcast, are you crazy? We've been trying to break up. Why are you even asking me this?
Which now we know
No. But I'm not questioning whether it's true or not. This is what I'm hearing for the first time. So when I'm hearing this without any point of reference, why would I question that?
Because, how would I respond is there are a lot of 40-year-old sad people who might be suffering from depression, who might feel disconnected from their partner, who don't cheat. That's not a reason to cheat.
Wait. And then he said it was wrong. And then he said he was seeking help. Where he was seeking help and who was open to giving him help was Raquel. And Raquel? Raquel. And he opened up to her. And in a moment of weakness, this magnetic pull pushed their faces together, and he wished he hadn't done that, but it just happened, and he's not seeing her now. But that's what he told me.
They hooked up for months.
For 7 months.
That's not what he told me.
That is. You didn't understand what he was saying.
I didn't understand.
I really don't think Howie gets it. Even all those things that Howie believes that Tom answered the question on why he cheated were all excuses. And Nick said it perfectly. There are other 40-year-old people out there that have similar issues and they don't go and cheat. And though Howie was told it was one time, Tom was sitting there lying to Howie to make himself look like he wasn't this horrible human being. Another thing I don't think Howie understands, because he doesn't watch the show or he didn't go and do his homework, was that when this interview happened, it was all happening so fast. 1 minute, we are thinking Tom and Ariana are doing good and that Raquel is, macking on Schwartz, and bam, we all got slapped in the face and found out everything we thought that was happening was a lie. Same thing for Ariana. I think we all, in the sense, felt what she felt, because we all got played as fans. She just got played much harder, and we all couldn't even imagine what she must have been feeling. But it wasn't done. At that point, we all, including herself, their friends, were all finding out more and more and more details about it and putting this huge puzzle together. That's what I don't think Howie gets. He wanted to know why this was so blown up that it was everywhere. And here, everyone else was wondering what else was going on, what else was being said, what else was done that wasn't true, that they were doing for these 7+ months at the time. That's why I think people got so mad that Howie didn't ask the hard questions, or that Jackelyn didn't. And she knew what was happening. Like I said, I understand more now why they didn't, but I still don't think that Howie really gets why the people were upset. And that's, there was a lot of things coming out at that time. And there was a lot of things that people were like, oh my God, this happened? So wait, that didn't really happen? It was all a lot. And people just wanted to know more. What do you all think? Knowing what we know now, do you still feel like Howie just doesn't understand that like Tom even lied to him, that he lied to manipulate the whole situation, and he wanted to control the narrative, and that we just wanted questions asked, that we really didn't care about why this got so big. But I understand how he did, but we didn't. What do you guys think? Let me know below in the comments.
You got
so I'm telling you what I heard and why I reacted to
and
what I heard.
And then I kept hearing him say that it was never a good moment to break up, but then he tried on Valentine's Day. And the day that he hooked up with her best friend was,
but
now we know the
I went
day.
on Valentine's Day?
Then he used a therapist for couples therapy and and Ariana thinks they're working on the relationship. Meanwhile, this is part of his breakup plan.
Well, you guys are coming at it from a totally different view.
And when he said he did end up, the first time he hooked up with Raquel was when she came home because her dog had just passed away.
Did he mention the dog in my interview?
No, but he was saying that he can never find a good time, but it seems like every time was the worst possible time.
And you are saying, as viewers of the show, and as people who have more information than me, you are saying, and let me just get this straight, that if it doesn't work out, if you can't break up or cheat on the day your girlfriend's dog dies, and then you give it a second shot on Valentine's Day, you are saying there are better ways to do it?
Than what he did? Yeah. I think, again, Tom's really good at
Yeah, people are not going to know that you're sarcastic.
They're not?
No.
He's being sarcastic. He's being sarcastic. No, well, not everyone. Yeah, and I'm with you, Howie.
I think also, from what I understand, Raquel has something to say about this, right?
We've been trying to get her on.
Have you? She won't do it?
I haven't heard from her. Apparently
somebody told me she was punched.
Oh, Sheena?
She was
no,
not.
she was
also
not.
a lie.
That's also a lie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that.
You want to have Sheena on? You know who Sheena is now.
Now, yeah. You know, it's fun.
Saw Sheena at Stagecoach. Yeah.
What?
She was at Stagecoach.
Yeah, no, she said that she would never be on my podcast.
Why?
I saw that.
She didn't say that.
Didn't she?
No, she just said that she didn't watch the
she
podcast.
She wouldn't watch 1 second of our podcast.
Because you didn't even know who she was.
That's what she said. She was offended.
On Watch What Happens Live.
Wouldn't you have to watch my podcast to know that I didn't know? I think when he said the word Sheena, I said...
Because people told her that you said that. She didn't watch it.
I don't know who Sheena is.
Can you say that louder? Can you say that louder into the mic?
I don't know who Sheena is. I don't know. I only now I know Lala. I know Lala, and I know Raquel. Raquel. I know who Raquel is.
You know Tom.
And Tom's sad. He's sad. Sandoval.
But Tom, I think Tom's sad for himself and no one else. And I think that's where people are frustrated.
He said on my show.
No.
Yes.
No, I know he said for Ariana, but no one but you believes that.
I love her. I still love her and I feel bad about it.
No one believes that.
Well, that's not for me to judge. No, how can you think of Howie Mandel as a judge? Why should I judge? There is no reason in this universe that I should be judging anything. I am not
Don't you
a
judge on America's Got Talent?
Oh. Take that back. That was also satire.
I know.
I have to make it clear now to people.
I'm having a really good time with you, Howie, and I really appreciate you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to hate you for having me and saying that you appreciate me.
It's okay.
Bravo those fans are...
They're intense. They're fans.
They're really intent. I never understood why Lisa Rinna wore adult diapers. Remember when she was the spokesperson for adult diapers?
No.
Who?
Lisa Rinna.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why.
Now you know.
Then you meet the Bravo fans and you know why. I came this close to shitting myself.
At least it could have helped you out.
Did it affect you? I mean, serious question. You're a big advocate for mental health. Did it affect your mental health?
Well, I see people and I'm very medicated and I do suffer from anxiety and depression, and for people should understand I'm okay. I'm actually okay, and it didn't get me down, but it could.
Sure,
it could. I didn't know who they were, and I didn't know what the show is.
I do think that's important to hear, because I think for the Bravo fans out there, they're very quick to defend the people they love. Right now, they love Ariana, and they
hate.
They're very protective over Ariana's mental health.
They hate Rahul, right?
They
hate
do.
Rahuls.
They hate Rahul. But I don't, just because they don't like what you had to say or how they conducted the interview, I do not understand why these people feel they're justified to react the way that they're reacting, and say some of the things.
Just because I don't know who Sheila is.
Yeah.
Sheena.
Oh, Sheena and Lala. I always get those two. I put them together. I shouldn't have.
How do you, Howie, protect your mental health?
Well, you've been a party to some of it. I try not to leave my little hovel.
Okay.
Right? Because we wanted you to, the fact that I came here. But if I come here, I travel with loved ones.
Yes.
I'm always surrounded by loved ones and good mental health advocates and medication. and family, and just
Therapy.
therapy, lots.
Yeah.
So lots of therapy. I'm never really alone, and I try not to read comments. But when you usually get like 30 comments a day, and then one day you get 300,000 comments, you have a tendency to
peak.
Yeah.
You went and filmed AGT that night, right? That it aired, and people were yelling from the audience.
Team Ariana! What? Team Ariana! When at AGT, they were yelling.
Heidi's like, what's going on?
Yeah, Terry. I said, I don't know. I did something. I must have not asked the right question. I didn't do. Do you know that I don't have a GED? I didn't finish high school, and to have this recalled like 60 years later, you didn't do your homework. Still is a problem.
Triggered you.
Yeah.
Well,
I never did homework, and I'm not doing homework. Though I did. I felt bad. This is the first time you got a scoop. I don't know if this is a scoop, but I haven't done any other podcasts, so I'm talking to you about it. And I did some homework. I knew that you were at Stagecoach. I thought you were on The Bachelor 3 times, but apparently it's 4.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Things going good? Are you getting married?
I'm engaged. Yeah.
I didn't ask that.
I am getting married.
Right. Look at me with follow-up questions.
Yeah. There you go. You're challenging me.
I love that. On this, I didn't make any promises here like I did on mine.
That's true.
We haven't
set
a date. We haven't set a date.
Well, let's
yet.
set it right now.
We're ballparking about 12 or 13 months from now. But.
Ballparking 12 or 13 months. Either a
That's the
year
goal.
or a year and a month.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it's somewhere around this time.
We're gonna do summer. That's what we're aiming.
Springish summer, I guess.
Okay. I thought we were doing fall. So
why is the
the
commitment issue you're having?
Yeah.
You're having one. See, this I can question.
No, we have to find a venue, and
it's not a venue. I could find you a venue tomorrow.
Can you
I
help?
have 30,000 square feet in Van Nuys. Come on over and get married.
My fiance has a more particular taste.
I know. She's got her thumb on it all.
Yeah. Yeah, about a year from now. We haven't set a hard date yet, though. Give or take. We're working on it. We're narrowing down the date.
I thought we were
you
doing
don't believe
fall.
in,
So
you don't
we're
believe
just-
in
I know.
your
If
question.
I was the
After
father
I
of
got
the bride.
engaged, it was a year before we got married.
Well, you were. It was hard to get the engagement.
No, it wasn't that hard.
Well, you were waiting and waiting and waiting. And then when it came, you didn't believe it.
Right.
How long did you date your wife before you proposed?
6 years.
Okay. It only took me 2.5.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, you're better than I am.
Commitment guy.
Commitment guy. Didn't you have other ones that didn't work out?
Yeah. They broke up with me.
All of them?
No.
So you're a liar.
Well, some of them.
Well,
You're questioning him more than you question Sandoval.
I've learned my lesson.
We're practicing. This is how we
Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And then I'm sorry, I want to apologize to you in advance because of what I did, apparently with Tom, no Bravo person is supposed to do any podcast until after May 27th.
Yeah,
which I'm going to bring. I want Lala to come in and relight.
Yeah, Lala. Well, just for everyone know, for the people expecting Lala on Going Deeper, because of Howie.
Oh, get them pissed off at me a little bit more.
No,
you could have been hearing Lala, but you got Juju.
No, Lala talked about it on her podcast that
they've been asked to not do anymore.
Funny.
She's really
great.
Funny.
Yeah,
she's smart.
A firecracker.
She's very smart.
Yeah.
She's like a star. She needs her own show. There needs to be a Lala show.
Give him Lala.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a show? A TV show?
It's her brand.
No, I know it's a brand, but it's not a show.
It will
do
be.
it. Make her a show.
I would love to produce a show. I like Lala. I don't know anybody else.
Bravo own their talent? Like, is she allowed to branch out to other?
Let's call her.
I have no idea.
Do you have her phone number?
I don't. No. Do you?
No, but let's see. She answers when I slip into DMs. Slid into DMs. She answers. Slip. I didn't slip. I'm old.
You tripped and fall.
He slips into DMs.
No. Well,
she responds to me every once in a while.
So let's see if she. Let's see
know
if
how
she.
to do DMs.
All right. Well, while Howie's looking while he slips into Lala's DMs, let's bring on
slides.
Let's bring in our
don't
caller.
make fun
While
of
he
it.
slithers.
No, Jackelyn, Nick, and crew, Bravo does not own Lala's talent. And actually, on May 8th, Deadline posted an article titled CAA Signs Vanderpump Rules star Lala Kent. Now, CAA stands for Creative Artists Agency. It's a talent agency based in Los Angeles, California, that represents actors, writers, directors, musicians, and other artists. Celebrities sign with CAA to get representation for their work in the entertainment industry. CAA is one of the largest talent agencies in the world, and they have represented many famous actors and musicians. So this could mean bigger and better opportunities maybe to come for Lala. I know, Howie, that I would love a show with just Lala, so maybe you can get that for all of us other Lala stans. I also want to make a quick note that in the article it mentions the win for the girls at the MTV Movie and TV Awards for Best On-Screen Team, which I do have their acceptance speech since none of them could attend the actual event. So let's take a look.
Wow. So we did it. Best on-screen team. Thank you so much, MTV, and especially to everyone that voted for us.
Yeah, and the team isn't just us. I mean, we have an entire production team behind us that makes this show possible, and this is just so exciting. We won Best Team, all because of you guys, the fans. Thank you so much for voting.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We've been through so many ups and downs as friends, and obviously it's a very tumultuous time in all of our lives, but we are truly at our best when we come together as a team. So thank you.
Yay!
So much.
We did it. Hello, my loves. Thank you all for voting for me and my most favorite girls, Sheena, Katie, Ariana. We are beyond grateful. This is crazy. Again, thank you guys so much.
Quickly, since we are on the topic of bigger and better things to come, I felt this was a great opportunity to mention all the new opportunities that other VPR people have gotten. We do know that Ariana will be appearing in a Lifetime movie called Buying Back My Daughter, as well as doing Dancing with the Stars in September. Tom Schwartz also has gotten some new opportunities as well. It was announced that he will be a contestant on Stars on Mars. The reality series will feature 12 celebrities vying for the title of the brightest star in the galaxy as they compete to colonize Mars. Looks like he will be competing against Portia, who was from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I have also heard from a cameo that was on the Queen Bee show on IG that she received for her birthday from Jax Taylor, that he will be doing 3 shows. One, you can guess what show that he's insinuating it will be, which I'm assuming it's Vanderpump Rules for season 11. And if you would like to see that full Jax Taylor cameo, I do have it linked below in my description, so make sure when you go there to watch it to give the Queen Bee show a follow as well. She is absolutely amazing, and she also likes to talk about different things happening in the celebrity space. So lots of great things to come for many of these Vanderpump Rule cast members, which I love seeing because I love watching them. What do you guys think? Are you happy for these new opportunities for all of them? I do hope that, Howie, you can get Lala that show. But let's get back to this podcast.
I do love what you said about friendships on that interview.
That you learn who your real friends are, because Tom was saying how he doesn't really have anyone who he can stay with.
That was a really good,
well, I think that's a good thing for life. I took a private plane one time and somebody said, "You have the best pilot." And I go, "Well, how do you know it's the best? Why is this the best pilot?" And like, how do you measure pilots? And this is a great analogy for life, for friends, for relationships, for everything. And they said, "Well, you don't want to know if you have the best pilot, but I'll tell you, you do." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" They go, "Well, every 6 months, they got to get rated on whatever plane they're flying, right? And they put them in a simulator, a flight simulator. That's how you get your test. And to keep your rating up on that airplane or that vehicle, what they do is they'll stall an engine. They put you in severe turbulence. They'll put an engine on fire. They'll dive. And the best people are the people that rate the best are the people that can get you out of this emergency situation. So you if you look at that, anybody can press the right buttons and take off a plane and sit there on autopilot and fly a plane. And that's kind of a great analogy for life. You can have fun with a lot of people. You can be in a relationship with somebody that you think is there for you. But when the shit hits the fan, when the bird hits the engine, when the fuel runs out of your life,
helps you get out of the mess?
Who is there for you and who helps you, and it's the dark times that tell more about everybody than the light times.
I couldn't agree more. I think when you're younger, you think your friends are there for you to have a good time with and share secrets. But when you get older, you value people who are willing to hold you accountable, even if it's difficult, and stand by your side and challenge you and be there for you and help you.
Well, that's why, Nick, I'll be honest. When I first saw you and I first met you, I thought you were an amazing person and a good guy, and I wanted to be friends with you. And there's been some shit in my life since, and you have not been one fucking place. You never show up. You never call. So fuck you, Nick.
I feel bad.
Just saying.
I mean, I know you're kidding, but if there's 1% that was true, I feel like I just dropped the ball.
No.
I lost my chance to be best.
Obviously, you don't do your homework. You don't know what's been going on in my life, but there's been a lot of shit.
Could we be friends?
Nope. Too late.
I'm actually sad.
You can hash it out when you're on Howie's podcast.
Yeah, you're going to come on. I'm really going to have you on. And I want you on with your fiance. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
We'll book it soon, like real soon.
Oh, great.
I'm not kidding.
Can't wait.
I follow through.
All right. Well, we probably should let you go. Oh, wait, Jackelyn, thank you so much for coming. It's been a real pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. Do you have any final thoughts or things you want to put out there or promote your show, your podcast?
Yeah, our show. Howie Mandel does stuff because he didn't want to include my name, even though I said I really wanted my name in there.
You are the stuff.
Yeah. Howie Mandel does stuff.
Oh, that's coming off bad. I'm sorry. Well, you asked us to promote. Anyway, we'll see you.
Anyways, check it out. It's wild.
That's it, yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, guys, that's it for this podcast with Nick Viall, Howie Mandel, and Jackelyn Shultz. I did learn a lot that I was hoping I would understand from the whole Howie Mandel podcast he did with Tom Sandoval, like why they weren't asking questions and how they had told him that, hey, we're not going to challenge you, we're just going to let you tell your story. And that Howie just doesn't understand that as Bravo fans, we wanted these hard questions asked. There was a lot happening at that time that really none of us cared that it got as big as it did. We wanted to know what the hell was going on. I get, the people that don't know Vanderpump Rules might be questioning that, and I don't think he even got the answer to that question. I do feel, though, in my opinion, it got as big as it did because it touched a lot of people's hearts. Even like Nick said, everyone can relate to a breakup. Everyone can relate to a friendship where your friend betrays you. And it just touched the heart, and it touched a lot of people's hearts. And we all felt Ariana's pain for her, and we just wanted to see her succeed and do better and overcome such a hard thing in her life. I will be back, though, with more of these wonderful podcasts with my commentary. I will be going live very soon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Make sure, though, to leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about this podcast, what you learned from it, and make sure to hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video or go live. Have a great day, everybody.